You know, there's this really seductive idea that floats around in the productivity world. It's this thought that you, the listener, you're not this messy, emotional human. You're actually like a machine,
Yeah.
a biological computer.
Right. And if you're a computer, you can be debugged.
Exactly.
So if you're feeling tired, that's not just, life, it's a battery issue. If you can't focus, it's a RAM problem. It's a very clean way to look at the very messy business of being alive.
But, I mean, usually that's just a metaphor, right? Something we use to feel a bit more in control. Today, though.
Today is different.
Today, we're looking at someone who takes that metaphor completely literally. We are cracking open a log from a self-described old software plumber named Aang.
Yep.
This is his week in review for week 6 of 2026. So it was posted basically today, February 8th. And I have to say, this is not a diary.
Oh, no. Calling it a diary sort of implies feelings or a narrative. This is a changelog.
Changelog.
It is. It's a system diagnostic. Aang tracks his life with the kind of rigor a sysadmin would use for server uptime. We're talking sleep down to the decimal point, step counts, even his GitHub commits.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to unpack this software plumber's entire operating system. You know, how does he handle a system crash? How does he optimize his hardware?
And maybe the most interesting part, we have to talk about the virus in the system.
Which is?
His growing kind of existential dread about artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah, that part is fascinating. He's a coder watching his own craft get automated in real time. You can feel the tension in the logs.
It's not just about efficiency for him, it's about identity.
So let's boot this up. Let's start with the hardware, the physical body.
Which for Aang, really, it all begins and ends with sleep.
Okay, so the data for week 6 says he averaged 7.3 hours a night. He even marks that as being in the healthy bracket.
He does.
But when I looked closer at the logs, it wasn't a clean 7.3 hours every single night. It was messy.
It was. And this is where that plumber mindset is so different from, say, a health guru mindset.
How so?
A guru tells you, sleep 8 hours straight or you failed. Aang looks at the data and he just sees a split session. He had nights where sleep was broken, so he just initiated what he calls a compensatory nap.
A compensatory nap. It just sounds so technical.
It is.
Like he's rebooting a driver or something?
But notice the lack of guilt. There's no shame. He frames it as a patch. The system didn't charge fully overnight, so he ran a quick charge cycle during the day. It's purely functional.
He also flags a huge external variable, which is the weather. Apparently January was a heat wave, but this week in February brought frequent heavy downpours.
And he immediately correlates that to performance. The temperature drop led to better sleep quality, which is a key insight for anyone tracking their own data.
Right.
You can't look at your biometrics in a vacuum. If your sleep score suddenly goes up, was it your new routine or was it just, raining outside? He acknowledges the environment.
But he doesn't just wait for it to rain. He tries to control the temperature himself. And I have to ask about this shower protocol.
Yeah.
It seems a little excessive. 2 showers a day.
It's rigid, for sure, but look at the timing of that second shower. He's very specific. It has to be approximately 60 to 90 minutes before the target bedtime.
Okay, so why that specific window? Why not right before you get into bed?
So this is actually backed by some pretty solid science. It's often called the warm bath effect.
Okay.
When you take a warm shower, your blood vessels dilate. The technical term is vasodilation. Basically, heat moves from your core out to your hands and your feet.
So you feel hot.
For a minute. But when you step out of the shower, because all that blood is near the surface of your skin, your core body temperature starts to drop really fast.
And that drop is the signal.
That drop is the key. The human body needs a core temperature drop to initiate the sleep cycle.
So if you shower right before you jump under the covers?
You might still be too hot. You'll just toss and turn. And if you shower too early, you miss that window completely.
So that 60 to 90 minutes is the sweet spot.
It's the physiological sweet spot to trick your body into shutting down. For Aang, this isn't about hygiene. It's a shutdown sequence.
It's like waiting for the fan to stop spinning before you close the laptop lid.
Exactly.
Okay, so the hardware is cooling down properly. But what happens when the system actually crashes? Because looking at his step count data, week 6 was not a good week.
No, it wasn't. He went from averaging about 5,300 steps down to just over 5,000.
Which, to be fair, is a tiny drop. I feel like most people wouldn't even notice 300 steps. That's what, a walk to the mailbox?
Aang notices, but he also identifies the bug. He was dealing with a recurrence of fevers, And he specifically notes them as a side effect of his medication.
Now, this is where I think most of us, myself included, usually just go off the rails.
Yeah.
You get sick, you miss a workout, you feel like garbage, and you just say, well, the week is ruined, I'll start again Monday.
The all or nothing fallacy. It's fatal for long-term consistency.
Right. But Aang doesn't do that.
No. He initiates what I would call safe mode.
The safe.
Yeah, you know how when your computer crashes, it reboots with just the basic functions? Low resolution, essential drivers, just enough to stay stable.
Yeah, it looks awful, but it still runs.
That's what Aang does with his body. He calls it a leveling strategy. He knows he can't hit his high-performance target of 6,000 steps, so he sets a safe mode target, 4,000 to 4,500, and he explicitly writes, listen to your body.
So he keeps the habit going, but just lowers the difficulty setting.
Precisely. And it prevents that psychological burnout. He admits he missed a strength training session, only did one instead of two, but because he hit his safe mode targets, he doesn't log it as a failure.
He logs it as an accepted normal.
An accepted normal for a sick system.
That is a remarkably healthy way to look at productivity. It's like data-driven self-compassion.
It's vital. I mean, if you're going to treat yourself like a machine, you have to respect your maintenance windows. You can't redline an overheating engine and not expect it to blow a gasket.
Speaking of fuel for the engine, let's look at the inputs. His diet log is, well, it's consistent.
Consistent and very low friction.
Oatmeal, cooked salads, soft-boiled eggs, miso noodle soup. It's so utilitarian. Not exactly a culinary adventure.
It removes decision fatigue. You know, if you have a standard stack of meals, you don't waste brain power wondering what's for dinner. But he did make one interesting patch this week.
The fish switch.
The fish switch. He notes shifting from deep-sea fish to regular fishes.
Right. So why make that distinction? Is he just bored of tuna?
He doesn't say exactly, but in the world of health optimization, deep-sea fish like tuna or swordfish, they're often higher in mercury and other heavy metals.
Bioaccumulation.
Exactly. They're higher up the food chain, they live longer, they accumulate more toxins. So switching to smaller, regular fish is usually a strategic move to reduce that toxic load on the body. He's tweaking the chemical inputs, patching a potential vulnerability.
And then there's the timing of his meals. He says, and I'm quoting here, not really practicing intermittent fasting, but then immediately says he adheres to fixed meal times.
I had to chuckle at that.
Right.
Because if you stick to strictly fixed meal times, say breakfast at 8 a.m., dinner at 6 p.m., and you don't snack in between, you are intermittent fasting. That's what it is.
So he's doing the thing, but he's rejecting the marketing term for it.
Which is very on brand for a software plumber. He's getting the biological benefit. He notes his weight is steady, around 69.6 kilograms. But he refuses to adopt the trendy label. He cares about the function, not the brand.
Okay, so we've got the hardware primed, the cooling system is optimized, and he's running in safe mode to handle a fever. Now we need to look at the software, the output, because this guy is churning out content despite being sick.
The volume is immense. 3 posts a day.
And it's not fluff. He's writing about gardening, fish keeping, and this is the big one, Haskell programming.
Right.
I have to be honest, I know almost nothing about Haskell. Is that like a useful language?
It's specific. Haskell is a functional programming language. It is notoriously academic, mathematical, very difficult to learn. It's kind of like the Latin of the coding world. It forces you to think in a completely different way than a standard language like Python or Java.
He calls the syntax dense and cryptic, yet he's written over 50 posts about it. Why would he torture himself like that?
This is the Feynman technique in action. He isn't writing because he's an expert. He's writing to become an expert.
So he's debugging his own understanding.
Exactly. By forcing himself to explain that dense code in a blog post, he cements the knowledge for himself.
But this is where we hit the real conflict, the glitch in the whole system. While he is manually grinding away at this difficult, dense language, he's watching the world of coding just change around him.
And that brings us to the AI dilemma.
And it's complicated because he's not anti-AI. He admits he uses it. He says, I began to use AI to draft quick Python scripts to analyze my sleep, weight, and steps count data.
Right. He uses the tool. He lets the AI handle the boring stuff so he can see the charts. It's a force multiplier. It's useful.
But then he pivots. He talks about his contributions to open source projects on GitHub. For anyone who doesn't code, GitHub is basically this massive library where people build software together. You submit a pull request, a PR, to suggest a change, and other humans review it.
It's a community. It's social. You argue about code, you learn from better coders, you mentor younger ones. It's a whole mentorship hierarchy built on text.
Ang writes, as the number of AI-assisted projects increases, I find myself wondering if manual contributions are still worthwhile.
Wow, that is a heavy, heavy statement.
He predicts that AI will diminish the social element of GitHub. And I think this is a profound insight that goes way beyond just coding.
It really is. I mean, think about what he's saying. If an AI writes the code, and then an AI reviews the code for errors, and an AI merges the code, the software gets built.
The product exists.
It might even be cleaner, better code, but the process, the human struggle, the conversation, the learning, that's all gone.
It's the difference between baking a cake with your friends in the kitchen and 3D printing a perfect cake.
Exactly.
The 3D printed cake might be flawless, but you're eating it alone.
And Ang is a software plumber. He values the craft. He values the difficulty of Haskell. And he's worried that in our rush to optimize the result, we are optimizing away the humanity of the work itself.
If there's no struggle, there's no need to ask for help.
And if you don't ask for help, you don't form a community.
And that ties right back to his Haskell posts. He's writing 50 posts to learn something hard. If he just asked an AI, write this code for me, he'd have the answer in 5 seconds.
But he wouldn't have the knowledge.
Or the satisfaction.
That's the crisis.
Yeah.
He's using AI to optimize his own health, which is good. But he's afraid that same AI is optimizing away the social fabric of his hobby.
So you have this massive tension. On one side, he's optimizing his body like a machine. On the other, he's terrified the world is becoming too machine-like. So where does he find that balance? How does he stop from just becoming a robot himself?
He goes to ground, literally.
Section 4, grounding mechanisms.
These are the protocols he uses to pull himself out of that digital anxiety. And you'll notice they are all tactile, they are slow, they are analog.
He mentions gardening. 4 new workspaces, decluttering, weeding.
You can't speed run gardening. You can't ask an AI to weed your flower bed for you. It forces you to slow down to the speed of biology. It's a physical patch for a digital problem.
And the fish keeping. He's obsessed with this yellow-blue rack, breeding cichlids, populating outdoor ponds.
Animals are chaos. You can't debug a fish. I mean, you can try, but they're unpredictable. They require patience, not code. You can't just hit undo on a mistake with a fish.
And then there's his meditation practice. But even this is optimized. It's not, I'm going to go live in a monastery.
No, it's more like microdosing mindfulness. He talks about 3 steps of sitting meditation for just 1 to 2 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, or walking meditation while he's out raking leaves.
It's integrated. He's patching the calmness subroutine directly into his daily chores.
And it seems to work. He brings up the weather again here. He says that despite the heavy downpours, I remained as stoically calm as ever.
Stoicism really is the operating system for all of this, isn't it?
It is. Epictetus would have been a great software plumber. You control your internal code, your reactions. You accept the external inputs, the rain, the AI, the fever. You don't get angry at the data, you just process it.
One of my favorite little details from this log is his photography hobby. He talks about looking for a macro lens for his phone to take better pictures on his photo walks during grocery runs.
It's a beautiful contrast, isn't it? Here's a man worried about the future of AI taking over everything, and he's walking in the rain to buy oatmeal, stopping to take a super zoomed-in photo of a tiny flower.
It's a deliberate choice to focus on the small, physical details.
Instead of the big, scary digital picture, it's focusing on what's real. The pixel count on a flower is infinite. It grounds him.
So, if we step back and look at Ang's Week 6, what are the takeaways for someone who isn't a coder? Someone who just wants to function a little better.
I think there are 3 core protocols we can definitely steal from him.
Okay, lay them on me.
First is the safe mode protocol. When you're sick or stressed, don't quit. Just lower the settings, define your minimum viable day, and just hit that.
Don't let the streak die, just let it hibernate.
Exactly. I love that. I'm running in safe mode today. It takes all the pressure off.
Okay, what's second?
The hardware primer. Respect your biology. Use temperature, like that shower protocol, and light and food to signal what you want your body to do. Don't just hope for sleep. Engineer it.
And the third?
Grounding inputs. If your work is all digital and abstract, your hobbies need to be physical and concrete. You have to touch grass, literally. Or fish. Or weeds. Something that resists you physically.
And maybe a fourth one. Except the bugs.
Absolutely. You're not broken, you're just in a beta test.
Before we sign off, I just want to circle back to that AI question, because I think it's the one that's going to stick with me.
The death of the GitHub community.
Yeah. And it's a question for you, the listener, to really mull over. If AI takes over the doing part of your job or your passion, if it writes the code or paints the picture or drafts the email for you, what happens to the community that was built around learning to do those things together?
Are we optimizing away the very struggle that brought us together in the first place?
If I don't need to ask you for help because the bot has the answer,
Mm.
do we ever even become friends?
It's a bug that's going to take a lot more than a software patch to fix.
Something to think about while you're taking your 90-minute pre-bedtime shower.
Oh.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you in the next log.